Section 5 of Short Stories from Life. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Dr. D.L. Martin. Short Stories from Life by Various. The Glory of War by M.B. Levick. He was an orderly in the hospital and had got the job through a friend in his Grand Army post. The work was not for a fastidious man, but John was not fastidious. In his duties he affected the bluff manner of a veteran, and peering at the interns with a wise squint would say, "Oh, this ain't nothin'. An old soldier is used to such things. If you want to see the real thing, just go to war." And he would laugh at them, and they would laugh at him. He wore his GAR emblem conspicuously on all occasions. At the slightest chance he became a bore with long tales of fighting, of how he had chased Johnny Reb, and how those were the days. The students, still near enough to the classroom to hold a lingering repugnance for the textbook's overemphasis on the Civil War, would guy him, but John never suspected. On Decoration Day he marched and attended as many exercises as he could squeeze into the 2 short hours. He wore a committee ribbon like a decoration for valor. Once he carried a flag in a parade, and for weeks talked about Old Glory, the stars and stripes, and regimental colors that had changed hands in distant frays. And he had fought only to save his country, he would assert. He didn't have no eye on Uncle Sam's purse, not he. He could take care of himself, and if not, why, there was them as would. When the youths accused him of sinking his pension, he turned hotly to remind them of their lack of beard. He was ever so ready to defend himself with an ancient vigor that the students and the nurses were sorry when he fell ill. Perhaps his campaigning had taken from his vitality, they surmised. The house surgeon told them he would never get up. After that, and the afterward was not long, John told his tales to more sober auditors. He had been in bed a week, and had begun to suspect the state of affairs when he called to him one evening the youth who of all had shown him the most deference. "Sit down," he said, without looking the youngster in the eye, and for a time there were heard only noises of the day-weary ward. Presently John spoke, in an apprehensive tone of confidences. "I've been a soldier now for 45 years, he said, "and for once I want to be just myself. I kinda like you, and there ain't nobody else I can talk to, for I ain't got anyone. In '61, I was on my father's farm in Pennsylvania. I was only a kid then, 15, but when the war come, I wanted the worst way to go. But my mother, she cried and begged me not to, and my daddy said he'd lick me, so I tried to forget it. But I couldn't. Lots of other boys was going away to enlist, and they was all treated like heroes. You'd a thought they'd won the war already by themselves, the way folks carried on when they left. The girls crying about 'em, and the teacher and the minister and the circuit judge speaking to 'em, and all the stay-at-homes mad because they wasn't going too. It kept getting harder and harder to work on the farm, and finally I said, 'Well, I'll go anyway.' I knew Pa and Ma wouldn't change their mind, so I didn't say nothing to them. But I went to all the other boys and told them, 'I'm going away to enlist,' I'd say, and when they'd laugh and say, 'Why, your Ma won't let ye,' I'd look wise and tell 'em to watch me, and I'd strut around and wink sly-like. They got to talking about it so much I was scared my dad would find out, but he didn't, and I held back as long as I could, because all the other boys was looking up to me. I was a man all right, then. None of 'em that went away was the mogul I was. The girls got wind of it too, and I could see 'em out of the tail of my eye, watchin' me and whisperin' and sayin' girl-like all the things the boys was tryin' not to say. That only made the boys talk more too. So after a few days I ran away. The first night I hung round near the town, and after dark sneaked back to hear 'em talkin'. "He'll be back soon," one feller said. Another, just to show he knew more, spoke up. "No, he won't come back, 'less in blue or in a coffin," and the others laughed. I thought that was fine, in blue or a coffin. "You bet I won't. I'm the man for that," says I to myself. It took me 3 days to walk to the city. When I told the recruiting sergeant I wanted to be high corporal, he laughed and pounded me and put me through my paces. Then he said I couldn't be a soldier. My eyes wasn't good enough. I cried at that. Only a kid, you know. There was lots of 'em younger than me fightin', but I remembered the feller what said, "He won't come back 'cept in blue or a coffin." So I went where the soldiers was and bummed and hobnobbed with 'em till they let me help 'em at peelin' vegetables and pot rasslin' and such things. Then I got to be a sort of water boy. My, I was proud, but that only lasted a month, and I had to get out. I just couldn't go home without the blue, and it seemed too soon to get a coffin yet. So I went to New York and stayed all through the war, nearly starved too. After it was over, I went back home. They didn't suspicion, of course, and the first thing I knew, I'd told them I'd been in the army. Hadn't planned to, but some way it just popped out. Right away, it was hail fellow well met with them that had been at the front, and we were going round giving ourselves airs, and the girls seemed to think we was better than all the rest. Well, sometimes I was just a young fellow, you know, and kept getting in deeper and deeper and never thought it'd mean anything. When a man says, "John, you remember that clump of trees the 58th lay under at Antietam?" "Why?" you say. "Yes." And the next time you're tellin' about Antietam, you just throw in them trees without thinkin'. That's the way it was with me. And I read books to get my facts straight, and no one never caught me nappin'. I used to correct them. At last I got to believe it all myself. Then the GAR post was organized in our town, and so it went. Well, it's been a long time. If I'd have known in the first place, maybe it'd have been different. But it was my right anyway, wasn't it now? Say, don't you think it was coming to me? It wasn't my fault, by God. I wanted to fight. Just one chance, and so help me. They cheated me out of it, and I got even. That's all it was. I never took no pension. I've had the glory, like 'em. I've paid for it. I only took my own, and the post will bury me. End of section 5.